So let's give you the basics on the thyroid body type. What is the thyroid? The thyroid is the gland which is located right here in the lower part of your neck right here. It's a kind of a small gland, about 2.5 inches wide, and it's controlled by a gland in your brain called the pituitary. Okay, so the pituitary sends a hormone down to the thyroid. It's called the thyroid stimulating hormone. And then the thyroid then releases T4 as its primary hormone. T4 is not the active hormone, it's the inactive hormone. It's kind of like the pre-hormone that will then turn into T3, which is the active thyroid hormone. Now, about 80% of this conversion from T4 to T3 occurs in the liver. And about 20% of the conversion happens in your kidney. So you can imagine if you don't get this working down here, or even the conversion, either one, because the liver's damaged or the kidney's damaged, you're not going to have enough T3. Now, the biggest problem with the thyroid, now, the actual cause of a slow thyroid that so many people have is not really a primary problem with the thyroid just deciding it doesn't want to produce its hormones. It's usually secondary to some other issue. And there's 3 main things that will cause it. Number 1, some type of problem in the conversion right here in the liver. So many people have a fatty liver. That could block the conversion. If you have a gut, we know you have a fatty liver, and that's going to affect the conversion. Or if there's some problem with the gallbladder, so let's say you had your gallbladder removed, then we're going to have less of a conversion. Or let's say you have a congested gallbladder where it's not working, or you have stones. All of that can affect the conversion. Also, if there's a problem with the kidney, let's say you've been on an unhealthy diet for years, you've been doing high carb, well, that's going to really mess with the kidney, and you're not going to be able to convert that well. So we have a conversion problem right there. There are other things too that can block the thyroid directly and cause it not to produce, okay? One thing is estrogen coming from the ovaries, or if you're taking birth control pills or hormone replacement therapy, or you're exposed to certain chemicals that act like estrogen. It's called endocrine disruptors. That could be like pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, things like that in the food supply. So anything related to estrogen can inhibit the thyroid function. Okay, this is why when women go through pregnancy, their estrogen goes up and the thyroid goes down, and they might gain weight. Because the thyroid hormone innervates every single cell in the body, you tend to gain weight all over, not in any one location. So one of the problems with the thyroid could be just too much estrogen dominance. Now also, stress can activate cortisol, and that could block the thyroid too. So we have liver and gallbladder issues or kidney, estrogen, or adrenal. Now, 90% of hypothyroidism really is Hashimoto's. That is an autoimmune condition, completely different than other types of thyroid issues. In this case, there's a complete different handling. I did a video specifically on that, which you can watch later. But the thyroid controls your metabolism, the speed at which you burn fat. And then I mentioned the weight gain all over. You're going to get tired. You may lose your hair, thinning of the hair, lose the outside of the eyebrows. You might get constipated. It may affect your mood, where you feel depressed all the time. Everything's perfectly fine, and I'm being very, very sarcastic. All right, there you go. There's the introduction to the thyroid body type.